I want to share with you a garden secret for growing fantastic plants. I mean, look around me. Can you see that rhododendron in the back? I'm 5 foot tall, well, 5 foot and maybe an inch. I think I'm shrinking though. And you can see in the back there, that has to be maybe 11 feet tall. I mean, that's pretty incredible. I reside in Michigan, and generally you only see rhododendrons like that in the Northwest. These rhododendrons thrive. And why is that? What's the secret? Is it the fertilizer I use? Well, I don't use Miracle-Gro. I don't use any fertilizer. Is it my underground sprinkling system that keeps it watered to perfection? Wish I had that. I don't have that. I have never watered these rhododendrons. I just depend on good old Mother Nature. So, what's my secret? Well, these rhododendrons were here when we moved in almost 25 years ago, although they were not nearly as tall. So I can't take credit for planting them, but the secret is they found their happy place. They have everything they need to thrive. They're getting the right amount of sunlight. They are getting the nutrients from the soil. It's got the right pH value. And they're disease free. So how do you find the happy place for your plants? Well, there are several factors I think you need to consider. Number one, what zone are you? Now, I'm in zone 5. Sometimes I think we're 5B. So I have before gotten plants for zone 6, like I had this one lavender. It did well for 3 years and then nothing. Got too cold, I think, in the winter. So it's easiest if you pick the right plants for your zone. Now, you can have certain micro environments that allow a different zone plant to be planted, but depending on the weather, and who knows what the weather is lately, that could backfire on you. Now, this site is a great way to find out what your zone is. I urge you to do that. As a gardener, you need to know what's your growing zone. Very important to know what type of soil your plant needs. Does it need alkaline or acidic or kind of just neutral? Or in this case, acidic. Rhododendrons like acidic soil. So if it's an area that pine trees grew, you've got acidic soil. But otherwise, you could add different things to your soil to make it more acidic. But then you might have to keep on doing that. So it's easier to find a place where your soil is already pH acidic. Now, this is a neat little chart that shows you the pH values for different vegetables, because that's also important. Now, more than just your pH value, how good is your soil basically? Is your soil very clay-like? Does it not have good drainage? Does it not have the right nutrients? You want to do a soil test. And you can buy these soil test kits at your local gardening store. Or in my case, I can get from my local county extension the little vials put in, or envelopes put in my soil samples, and send it to Michigan State University. I think it's like $25, and they will send me back what the soil is like. So if you're thinking about planting a new area, and maybe a landscape planting, which can be very expensive, make sure you have the right soil for those plants. Sunlight. Some plants love shade. Think of a lot of hostas, although some hostas do well in sun. Some like in the afternoon. The afternoon is just starting and the sun is starting to appear. So it seems to love that. So it gets partial sun and it does well. In many sites you will see that it says rhododendrons need direct sun. So you might want to talk to your local nursery or master gardening friends to find out what is best for your area. One of the things you have to be careful about, well, look at this chart. It gives you various requirements for sun. And it's always good to look at various things on the web, but it's better to go to your local nursery and find out what is best for the plants where you live. Because a lot of times I have found, especially for vegetables and that planting in my garden, that the requirements are more for southern growing, not for up north where I am in Michigan. So you want to make sure that the sun requirements are right for where you plant. Water requirements. If you live in an area that doesn't get a lot of rain, you want to look at more drought resistant plants. Unless you have an in-ground sprinkling system or are very diligent with your sprinkler and never have to worry about having all of a sudden requirement not to water your lawn because of low water levels in the area you live. Like I said, in my case, Mother Nature waters my plant here. But you need to look into it. You can also have a problem with overwatering, especially if you have clay soil. Rhododendrons need good drainage. So again, look into what the specific plant requires. Because who wants to all the time be going out and adding fertilizer and watering the plant and doing all of that just to make it survive and usually not even thrive. Two more things. The variety of the plant you pick can be important. You remember that you want a variety that does well in your zone. Again, your neighbors, your local gardening center can pick out a variety that works well for you. What are these? I don't know. They look to me, the purple ones, like PMJ, I think it is, rhododendrons, or PM rhododendrons, whatever. I think it's just the normal variety. It's nothing fancy. But make sure you get something that will thrive where you live. And last, pruning. In this case, I really haven't pruned much these rhododendrons, but depending on what you are growing, you might have to because it needs to have sunlight and air in between the branches. Also, you want to look at the root system. In this case, the roots are relatively shallow, and so some mulch or something on top is good to protect them. I am not using, I guess, wood mulch, but these lilies of the valley all over and the pachysandra, I think, kind of act as mulch and do a good job of protecting those roots. So I would like you to have a successful garden. You can apply some of these same things to your vegetable garden, your fruit trees, and of course your beautiful flowers and flowering shrubs. Just find your plant's happy place, and your plant will thrive, and you will have to do a lot less work. As always, please subscribe, share the knowledge, thumbs up if you like this video, and I hope you are having a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. So I thought I'd give you a 360 view, just walk around whole area. Back up a little here. Okay, gonna go by a tree. And there are some azaleas which are done right now, but those were pretty there too. The azaleas always blossom first. So you can see those beautiful red ones in there. Big puffy snowballs, almost like. They're beautiful, huge, huge blossoms. Okay, keep walking around. Try not to watch where I put my steps. really is a large area and so gorgeous this time of the year. Well, there you have it. I'm almost back to the beginning.